So, in my last video, I talked about how my girlfriend and I took vacation down in Tennessee and Georgia, and then drove up back through like Kentucky and Virginia, West Virginia, all that. We drove through a bunch of states. First time going to Tennessee, like for real. I think I've driven through that area before. Or I haven't driven through that area before because I was in like middle school, but I've been through that area before because we took a church trip to Louisiana in like 2009, something like that, um, because they were still doing the whole Hurricane Katrina cleanup stuff and everything. So I went down there for that, but that's enough for that. Of that, this is my first time like actually in Tennessee and like Kentucky and all that stuff. We were in Georgia for a little bit for Fort Oglethorpe, which has some Women's Army Corps history at it, which is what my girlfriend's really into. She does a lot of Women's Army Corps research and reenacting, and she's a bit of a historian. Um, but anyway, while we were in Tennessee, of course, there's a big knife store down there called Smoky Mountain Knife Works, if you've never heard of it, that I've bought a lot of knives from over the years and everything. So wanted to actually go check out the store. And the store is like Cabela's kind of, or Bass Pro Shop, if that was filled up with almost entirely knives. So very cool for somebody like me who's super into, pocket knives and everything. Really cool store. Really enjoyed it. I only bought two knives there. I bought last week's knife, the Rough Rider Reserve Granddaddy Barlow, and I bought this. And before I ramble on anymore, this is the Boker Stiletto Auto, and it says it's made in the USA. I think this is a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive, but I'm not sure. Um, but anyway, this is the knife. This is an auto stiletto. Boker Plus. Again, it says it's made in the USA. I don't know what that entails. I don't know if the parts were, made in China or elsewhere and then shipped over here and it was just assembled in the USA, or if all the parts were made here and it was assembled here. I'm not sure exactly what that made in USA means there, but it does say made in USA. So at least some part of the manufacturing process was completed in the United States of America. Now, that being said, I know with automatic knives, you can't really import automatic knives from what I understand. So most of the automatic knives are brought in as regular knives and then they're converted to automatic knives. That being said, I'm not sure, like I said, if that's the case here or not, but it does say made in USA. So I'll just say it's made in USA. But anyway, cool little, stiletto knife here. This was, I think, $75, something like that. Not unreasonable, not super expensive, also not super cheap. Of course, you can get a Boker Kalashnikov for a lot less than this, but that says very proudly that it's made in China. And of course, you usually get a lesser blade steel, although I think they've upgraded it to D2 now, so you don't actually. But that being said, the stiletto is just a really classic, knife shape, and the pointy blade here is really cool. This one's very shiny. It's going to be difficult to get good video of. See, there it says Boker Plus. Only one edge is sharp. This is not a dagger. Top part here is not sharpened. So if you got rules against daggers in your state, this is not a dagger. It is a switchblade though, so if you're not allowed to carry switchblades in your state, you are not allowed to carry this. But as of 2022, 2023, as of the January of 2023, people in Pennsylvania are allowed to carry switchblades. So I now have, I think, 3 automatic knives. So I have 2 Kalashnikovs, and now I have this. Okay, come on. The button's is a little iffy on this one. Like, you got to press it down pretty good. So I actually almost need to press it with my thumbnail, which I need to trim. So that's both good and bad, because the good part about that being hard to press down is I'm not afraid it's going to accidentally activate in my pocket. The bad part is it's a little bit more of a pain in the butt to put the blade away and everything. But yeah, the action's really good. The blade actually locks up really well for an auto knife. Like there's no play up or down or side to side. It looks like it's running on phosphor bronze or brass washers there. You can see the lock for the auto mechanism there. An auto, a switchblade typically is like a button lock, but with a spring in it that launches the blade out when you press down the button. Um, so, yeah, pretty cool little knife. It's fairly basic. I think these are, I don't know if these are steel or aluminum, like the bolsters and cap and everything. I don't know if they're steel or aluminum, but some sort of uh, budget metal, I'm sure. Um, Plain G10, black G10 handles, and you get a G10 spacer here, and black liners that I assume are steel or aluminum. Probably steel. Pocket clip, tip up, pocket clip, so that's cool. And everything deep carry pocket clips, that'll make a bunch of people happy there. Um, but yeah, just a really classic stiletto shape, really classic stiletto blade shape as well, and good action. The only thing I have to say is I wish that they had gone with a little bit fancier handle material. Instead of black G10, some like, fake pearl or like abalone would be sweet, or just some like white bone or something. That'd be cool. But this is what they went with. And, overall, I think the knife looks really good. I don't know how often I'll carry it, but I wanted to have it in my collection, I guess. Um, But yeah, I mean, I think this is a really well made knife. Like I said, for an automatic knife, like my Boker Kalashnikovs, they have like some up and down play and some side to side play and everything, which is just something that I think is pretty common on auto knives. But this one locks up really well, so I'm excited about that. It is a fairly heavy knife, so obviously, if you're looking for lightweight, this is not the knife. Super stabby point, obviously, with it being a stiletto. Um, to make a really good letter opener, um, or really any kind of utility thing, cutting tape and stuff. A little bit thicker blade than I think is typical of a stiletto, but um, and the blade length is right about a little over 3 1/4, with a cutting edge of right about 3 inches. And the handle length here, let me see what the handle length is. Handle length is about 4.5, 4 5/8, we'll say. It's about 4 5/8. So it is a fairly large pocket knife, but not that large when it comes to modern folders. It's about the same size as the Daddy Barlow that I also got, Smoky Mountain Knife Works. In fact, it's right about the same size. So, not huge or anything for a modern folder, but for like a traditional knife, it's fairly large. And since I know most of you watching this are probably more into traditional knives, and I kind of consider a stiletto to be a traditional knife. Now, obviously, this one's not assembled using traditional methods. It's got screws holding it together and everything. But the stiletto, I think, is kind of a traditional knife pattern. Back in the day, before they outlawed switchblades there in the United States for a little while federally, there were a lot of companies making stilettos. Um, but these days the knife laws are coming back a little bit, which is nice. So we get the opportunity to own automatic switchblades again, which is nice. Um, but yeah, I mean, stiletto, as far as I'm concerned, is more of a traditional automatic knife pattern. Um, and this one's done really well. Um, so Boker did a good job on these. Smoky Mountain Knife Works, like I said, I think it's an exclusive to them. And I think they were selling pretty good. So I don't know if they still have these or not, but they're around $75, which I was pretty happy with for this. I didn't talk about the blade steel. Blade steel on this is 440C, which is fine. It's not super high end. It's not S30V. It's not even D2, but I think 440C is pretty comparable to D2, honestly, when it comes to holding an edge and everything. It is good stainless steel, so shouldn't rust or stain or anything. Which on a knife like this, I think is kind of what you want typically on like a stiletto. You know, it's not a traditional pocket knife, so I'm really not that worried. Well, it is a I'm contradicting myself now. It's not the traditional pocket knife, I guess. I don't know. I'm not upset about having a stiletto with a stainless blade because I kind of feel like that's how it should be, I guess. But anyway, this is the Boker Stiletto from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. And that's going to be it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a good day.